Hey everybody, just trying to go live. Hey everybody, my name is Michelle Perez. I'm one of the attorneys here at Saavedra and Perez Law. Just sending up everything. Okay, I think I'm live on all platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I am live here to answer any of your immigration questions. My name is Attorney Michelle Perez. I am one of the founding attorneys here at Saavedra Perez Law. Me and my business partner, Isabel Saavedra, started this law firm because we saw the need for client care, and me and her have our different perspectives on our situations and how we can connect to the clients. Isabel was undocumented for 10 years of her life. And so she has a special connection because she understands the client in that aspect. And I am a daughter of immigrants, and I had to help my father retain his residency. And so I understand the fears that come behind having a family member that might be deported from the country. And so we both have different perspectives on the fear that's associated with being an undocumented immigrant in this country. And that's why we are here to help. So we are here on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Um, yeah, those four social medias. And I'm here to answer any of your immigration questions. You can just put the comments in the comments below. If you have any questions, I'll be able to see them regardless of which social media you put your comments in. Also, if you want to do a shout out, let me know that you're here. I'm always love to see current clients, past clients, employees, family, friends. I love seeing the shout outs on live, and I love feeling the support. So I'll just tell you guys a little bit about what we do here and maybe my background. I've been an attorney since 2015, so has Isabel Saavedra, and we have done immigration for probably more than 10 years because in law school we were a part of the immigration clinic where we help nonprofit on a nonprofit basis. We help clients that were undocumented or detained or in process of deportation, and we help them stay here in the country. So that's what we continue to do today through different avenues. And right now we're doing free consultations until the end of April. So call that number 571-583-0791. We are not just in Fairfax, Virginia. I am here in the Clearwater, Florida area, but we do represent clients all over the country because immigration is federal law. We are able to represent immigrants no matter where they live. So we've had clients in all parts of the country: California, Georgia. I've been to Georgia a lot for clients, New York, Pennsylvania, Florida, of course. We've had a lot of Texas clients. We had Michigan. So don't think that just because we are not in your local area that we can't help you out, because we do help out clients all over the country. Um, and I'm trying to load my chats from my other YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. But I am here and I can see your questions if you have a question on TikTok. I do these lives every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I do them in English, pero sí también yo hablo español. Si tiene una pregunta en español, I can help you out as well. Obviously, my English is better than my Spanish, but I am here to help you regardless, and I make do and I do communicate with all my clients, whether English or Spanish. So we do have a question on TikTok. Thank you for commenting. It's a question from Gina. So Gina asks, abogada, ¿qué probabilidad hay que acepten la visa juvenil en USCIS? So para su respuesta, su pregunta, Gina, todo depende en el estado que está y cómo el abogado de familia hizo su orden. Si hizo su orden en la lengua que es necesario y tiene las cosas necesarias para el orden, va a ser bien para USCIS. And in English, that basically means you have to make sure that the order from the family petition and the family attorney entered the correct information or had the correct requirements for the SIGIS, which is the Juvenile or Jóvenes Visa, so that USCIS will grant it. And they're supposed to grant it within 180 days. I've seen it where they don't grant it within 180 days, and I've seen it where they do. It might be taking a little bit longer. And I've also had clients where we had to go back to family court and amend the order because there was some language that USCIS didn't like, or maybe there's something that that USCIS didn't like, and we had to go back and amend it. So you have to make sure we do the USCIS process, and we will help you find a family attorney in that state to get the appropriate order that you need. We can also look at the order that maybe you've already obtained from a family court and see if it's enough for USCIS. We know the requirements, and we usually work with the family attorney to make sure that those requirements that are necessary for USCIS are in that order. So that was a very good question, Gina. Si usted tiene una pregunta de un visa que usted mandó a USCIS, usted puede llamar a la oficina para hacer una consulta para gratis. Okay. Then we have another question. Okay. How can we get my grandpa's caregiver to accompany him when he comes to visit the U.S.? Very good question, Claudia. Your grandpa's caregiver. So there are two types of immigration cases. There is the business immigration side, and there is the family petition, deportation defense, and that kind of side. So what we do is we do the deportation defense and the family petitions. There might be ways where your grandpa's caregiver can come to him to the U.S. on an employment-based visa. We don't do that here, but you can call our offices and we'll be able to give you an attorney that we trust that does a great job at those. So call our offices. Maybe we can help your grandpa or your grandpa's caregiver in another way. Maybe there's a situation that, we're not realizing, and maybe he can enter on a parole. Let's have a consultation and see how we can help in that way. Okay. Tiene una pregunta de Lorena. Una pregunta después de juvenile. Okay. Después de un aprobado de un niño de 14 necesita el permiso de trabajo. Lorena, no necesita un permiso de trabajo, pero yo me gusta hacerlo no matter what. Y la razón es que usted nunca sabe cuándo necesita ese permiso de trabajo y ahora mismo está poniendo los permisos por 3, 4, 5 años. Estás poniéndolo por más años. So, ahora que está 14, es bueno para conseguirlo ahora mismo. So, cuando está de edad, cuando quiere trabajar, ya tiene el permiso de trabajo con él. So, no es necesario para coger un permiso de trabajo, pero es más bueno para tenerlo, para ya estar listo para cuando quiere ir a un trabajo. Okay. Let me see if there's more questions here on TikTok. I'm having issues getting the chats on the other social medias. So just give me a little bit of minutes here. But we are also live on TikTok. So if you're trying to ask me some questions and I can't see it, just message on TikTok. Okay. And let's see. Let me just try to get some help here. Okay, because I want to be able to answer all your questions if you are on all these other social medias. But if we have some questions from TikTok, you can place it on TikTok, and I can definitely answer your question there as well. On the other social media content, we're trying to fix that issue right here, but I am here regardless. Okay, and so I'll tell you a little bit about my history and how and why I became an immigration attorney. So I think from a small child, you always dream big. And so I always said that I want to be an attorney. I want to be an attorney. I want to help people out. I want to help those that can't help themselves, that don't know how to help themselves. And so I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. When you become an attorney, you have many different options. You can be a business attorney, immigration attorney, real estate attorney, personal injury attorney. There's so many different avenues to go down that I didn't know at the time when I went into law school. And right around that time when I got accepted to law school is when my dad told me about his situation. And he's a lawful permanent resident, and he's probably like, don't talk about my story, but I have to talk about your story, Dad. So he's a lawful permanent resident since he was 10 years old. He's been in this country ever since. When he was young, he did not such great things when he was young. He was young and dumb, as he calls it. And he got into some trouble in New York City in the late 70s, early 70s. And he was arrested quite a few times. And so he knew from back then, someone told him when he went to go renew his residency back in the 80s, that you have a criminal record, so you need to be careful. You cannot viajar or fly outside the United States. So that always spooked him. And I think as parents, we try not to let our kids know, the fears that we might have. So he never told me this until I was accepted into law school and around that time. And he told me that he was afraid because he knew from long ago that he was never able to leave the country, even as a resident. He never renewed his residency card. And even if you don't renew your residency card and you're in the United States, does not mean that you're not a resident anymore. It just means that you have an expired card. Okay? I get that question a lot. And so he was like, I have, a criminal history. I've always been told that I can't viajar, I can't fly outside the United States. And so he's never left the United States since he's been here as a 10-year-old. So it's pretty crazy to think that you've never traveled outside the United States. And so he's never been able to go back home to his country where he was born and raised for a little bit. And I started researching and I started asking my professors at law school 10 years ago, here's my dad's situation. Can you help us out? And I've got really good feedback from my professors that, this is a very complicated case and you need to do X, Y, and Z. And we need to make sure that we have enough good moral character, meaning showing that your father has rehabilitated. That's not the person that he was. He made a mistake. And now he is a father of 8 kids. He's married. He's gainfully employed. He has changed his life around. And then that would help immigration grant a waiver or a perdón so that he can come to the United States, or he can stay in the United States and not get deported. After further research, I realized that if my dad ever were to travel outside the United States and come back in, he would be placed in deportation proceedings. He would be mandatory detention, which means he would be detained by the immigration courts, and he would have to stay detained during the whole time. So I told him, I'm a baby attorney. Give me a few years. I want to make sure I get this right. I want to research. I want to gain experience because no one's going to take your case. I'm going to take your case. So that's what I did. So I helped my dad. I'm going to get choked up. I helped my dad. Sorry, I talk about my dad, and I love my dad. Um, God, I'm crying on lives. It's okay. I helped my dad, and the same way that I helped my dad, I want to help my clients. Um, I understand the fears as a family member where your family member, your loved one can get deported if everything doesn't go right, right? And so I want to be that for you. I want to take your stress, your worries, and I will help you and your family as best as I can to make sure that they do stay in the United States. So if you are a lawful permanent resident and you might have some criminal issues and you're afraid to fly outside the United States, just like my dad, um, like call us. We have a free consultations for the month of April. I'll be able to see if I can help you out. Um, so call the number down, 571-583-0791. We do consultations via phone or video. Or if you're in the local area, Clearwater, Florida, or Fairfax, Virginia, we do have offices where we can go and meet our clients in person as well. But we have consultations via phone and video on a normal basis. So I have some questions on TikTok. So let me see. Okay. My husband came with asylum and we want to file for his green card. I'm a U.S. citizen. Would the process be different? Okay. So it really depends. That's a question. That's a good question. If you come with asylum and you have been granted asylum, after having that asylee status for 1 year, you can apply for your green card, for your residency. On another note, if you are married to a U.S. citizen, you can also apply for what we call an adjustment of status based on marriage to a U.S. citizen. And so those processes are similar but different. But if he does have asylee and he was granted asylum and he's here for more than a year and granted asylee status, then I would say that's your easiest way. If your husband's here on asylum and he hasn't yet won his case, or maybe his court is pending, I would go down the route of adjusting your status through your marriage, because that process would be faster than the asylum process. The asylum process right now is taking 6-7 years if you file affirmatively, which means that you're not in court, but you come here and then you file with the local USCIS asylum office saying that you fear returning to your home country for certain reasons, and you tell them those reasons. And so because there's such a backlog, it's taking 6, 7, 8 years for them to even hear your case. So if your husband did come here and he applied for asylum and he hasn't yet been granted asylee status, which is an approval of that asylum, then it's going to take a while for him to actually plead his case. So it'd be better if you would be able to petition him and do an adjustment of status here, depending on how he came in. So if he entered with a visa, you can adjust here. But if he entered illegal and maybe he was paroled into the country, we can talk about your options, because depending on how he was paroled, I have made the argument in the past that they can adjust status here in the United States and they don't have to leave for the consular processing interview outside the United States. So we have free consultation. Your name is AS with a heart. Call us for a free consultation and we'll be able to investigate your case a little bit more in depth. And we can see if it's going down that adjustment of status route is more beneficial. Okay. Jay has a question. My bro interview has not been scheduled for past 1 year with Islam Embassy. Okay, so my understanding of your question is that your brother has maybe an interview or a petition pending. So the question is then, did you petition for your brother and you're waiting for them to interview him at the local embassy? Because if that's the case, petitions right now for US citizen brother, sister are backlogged like 14, 15 years. So although you do have a sibling and you're a US citizen and you want to petition for them, it's going to take a long time for those people to come into the United States. So if that's the case, then it's going to be more than 1 year. If, however, you've already been waiting 14, 15 years, you and your visa, that visa is available. The Department of State is going to contact you through the email that you have provided in the mailing address you have provided them, and they will send you a notice to say he is eligible, his visa is available, please apply. And then you have to go with the second step, which is you apply for your DS-260. And when you enter that biographical information and all the information about your brother, then they go and schedule a interview at the U.S. embassy or consulate in that country. So it depends on the country and how long it's taking. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. And we have a question: where are you located? We are a virtual firm, but I am located in Clearwater, Florida, and my business partner Isabel Saavedra, is in Fairfax, Virginia. But it doesn't matter where our clients are because immigration is federal. My license, even though it's a Florida license and her license is a New York State license, we are able to practice in all parts of the country. We have practice in all parts of the country. I've been to Georgia, I've been to Pennsylvania, I've been to New York, Massachusetts. It doesn't matter where you are, we can represent you no matter which state you live in because immigration is federal. So we are located everywhere, but our primary office is in Fairfax, Virginia, and we have a satellite office here that we use in Clearwater, Florida. So if you ever do want to meet us in person, you can definitely, and you live nearby, you can give us a call. We can have consultations in person. We also have connections in a few different spots around the United States where we normally go. So we normally do go to Raleigh, North Carolina. We've been there already last month for a free consultation event. We're going in a couple of weeks. We have connections in Easton, Pennsylvania. So we are going, or Isabel's going there tomorrow. So if you are in Easton, Pennsylvania, and you are in that location or near that location, call us 571-583-0791 to schedule a free consultation. Isabel will be there in person. We have scheduled to go back in a couple of months to Easton and Raleigh. So we have those connections there. Okay. And I have more. Oh, thank you guys. I love sharing my story because that you guys get to know more of who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I want my clients to understand that I get it, and I understand the fears. And I was in that position, maybe not in the same position, but Isabel was undocumented for 10 years, and she had that fear that most all of our clients fear. And I had that fear as a daughter of immigrants, not knowing if her father is going to be able to stay in the United States or not. So I have that fear. I had that fear as well. And for my dad, we actually won his waiver case. So I have that sense of relief now. I don't have the fear that I had for so many years. And hopefully next month he will become a citizen of the United States because we were able to get a waiver granted with USCIS. So if you have a family member that hasn't traveled outside the United States and they're a lawful permanent resident and maybe they have some old convictions, we do offer services where I will review your immigration, your criminal history, and let you know if there's a legitimate fear. Most of the time, and I will tell you from my experience, most of the time, like 75% of my clients they have a legitimate fear, but I find a way, or I research enough to be like, you don't have to have that fear. I will be with you through these steps, but you should be able to get your citizenship, or you won't be deported if we do this. So 75% of the time, I'm able to find a solution for my clients. So if you're in that state where you fear that no one can do anything for you, don't give up yet. And I'm not here to judge you on your past, because I know all too well how you can be young and dumb, or there are situations where there's something happening in your personal life that makes you make mistakes, and no one's perfect. No one is a perfect human. And so I understand that. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. So call our offices so I can help you. And I'm able to review your criminal history, do a full analysis, and let you know if those fears are legitimate or not. And if we can find a way to help you and fix it, then we will. So call our offices for a free consultation. Okay, let's see. Okay. Thank you, Freddie. Freddie says, so inspiring, Michelle. You did great for your dad and continue to do for immigrants. Thank you so much, Freddie. Our very much big supporter. Me and my son have different cases, but similar with criminal cases. We are in Texas. Okay, that's fine. You can be in whatever state. So if you're in Texas, I can still help you. Call our offices. I can see if your criminal case can affect your immigration, the way to fix your immigration papers. I've even worked with criminal attorneys during the process of a criminal case to make sure that whatever you plead to or plead guilty to is not going to affect your immigration status. So I have also done that. So if you're in the middle of a case right now and you're working with a criminal attorney, don't expect that criminal attorney to know everything about immigration, because they can't, right? Their focus is criminal. So you can hire me on the side, and I can work with that criminal attorney to make sure that whatever you plead to, whatever you admit to, is not going to affect your immigration status at all, or affect you being able to get your citizenship. So if you're in the middle of a criminal case, please call us. Even if you have different cases, you don't have a name, user 5589. Call us for a free consultation, and I'll be able to let you know if we can do anything for you. Okay, is there any way, so Jay has the same question, is there any way we can expedite the interview as the date is current, but embassy is not scheduling? I'm gonna be honest, I have not done expedite requests. I've done expedite requests at an embassy for a different reason, and it's a matter of showing them an urgent reason as to why they should expedite your interview or your brother's interview on top of anyone else's. And it's going to be a hard burden because it's discretionary unless you have very great factors that you can show that embassy as to why there's a special need for your brother to come in. I'm not going to guarantee that it works, but if you call us to see if maybe we can do something for you, but call us for a free consultation. Okay, AS but could he go back to his home country after getting his residency through marriage? Yes, he can. He can go back to his home country after obtaining his residency through marriage, because the manner in which you're obtaining your residency is not through asylum. Now, asylum is tricky, so I'm glad you brought that up. With asylum, if you gain your residency through asylum, there's some bans about going back to your country, because in the aspect of you feared that country, now you became a resident, you're going back. So we have to be careful when we give that advice to clients that it's okay to go back, and it's not. I haven't really dived into that, but if he does get residency through marriage, then he's free to go to his country back and forth. It doesn't nullify, it doesn't say that his asylum claim was false or anything like that. It just says that, you know, he's moving forward in a different manner. So yes, he can do that. I am running out of time, but I am so grateful for everyone watching live, for all your questions. Just remember, we are going to be in Easton, Pennsylvania tomorrow, April 5th. Check out our social medias to find the address. Isabel will be there. And we'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina, April 19th and 20th. Check out our social media. We'll have the address there. We were in Raleigh last month. Raleigh is a great connect for us. And so we'll be in Raleigh probably every other month, I should say. So definitely reach out to us, and thank you for watching.